The Barricade 5-inch oval side step bars that we have here today in black will be for the 2019 and newer Ram owners out there looking to go big but on a budget. Now, these extremely popular steps will feature a combination of heavy-duty steel with the 5-inch oval tubing, along with the 60-degree ends for right around the $300 to $350 price point. Guys, you're currently looking at one of the most popular Nerf bar options on the site for your Ram with well over 100 5-star reviews. And as always, I'm going to encourage you to read up on some of those reviews to help you with your decision. Now, the reason these guys are so popular is twofold, right? You're getting a solid material in the heavy-duty steel construction, but more importantly, you're getting it at an extremely affordable price point, right around 350 bucks here, which is really hard to come by in the land of aftermarket side steps, especially in this size and end configuration. So we've talked about the materials, again, that 100% heavy-duty steel build, powder coated, but I do also want to focus on the design or the build here at the 5-inch oval options from Barricade, because not only is that going to make for a ton of real estate for your foot for you and your family to get in and out of, but it's also going to help contribute to an aggressive appearance and help save your door from random door dings in the parking lots. Now, this is something a lot of people don't think about when adding something like this, but because the Barricades will ultimately stick out from the side of your Ram a good bit, it's going to act as a first line of defense against careless owners who just swing those doors open with no remorse for who or what they hit. But getting back to some of the details here at the Barricades, again, traction-wise, you're looking at just over 2 feet, both front and rear, of non-slip plastic pads that will ride on top of the step bars, which, by the way, have over 350-pound capacity per side. Now, you're also going to notice the 60-degree ends here with this particular option. That's going to kind of curve back into the body or cab, which I feel helps deliver a more finished look. And then last but not least, we got that black powder coat to kind of keep things looking good, stealthy, and protect that steel over the years. Now, if you wanted to, you could always check out the polished or the chrome options here from Barricade as well. They're definitely gonna cost you a little bit more dough, but if you have a chrome package truck, you wanna maybe match the chrome with that truck or whatever with the side steps, then you can certainly check those options out as well. But let's segue into the install, and guys, extremely simple stuff here thanks to the bolt-on design. So because of that, expect a pretty mundane 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, maybe 40 minutes of your time to complete from start to finish, using a basic socket set, including a 13mm deep socket and wrench. But now to give you a better idea of just how this one will go down, here's an AT customer to walk you through it.
These are the tools that I'm going to be using for the install. I have a socket wrench here, 13mm deep socket, 1/2 inch open end wrench. All the hardware that came with these sidebars, the 6 universal mounts, and the actual bars themselves. Upon further investigation of my vehicle, I noticed that it already has the bolts installed from the factory for running boards. So I don't know if the guy that had the truck before me had running boards on the truck and he took them off, but I will go ahead and show you that now. Let me get on the truck. As you can see, they already are installed from the factory. Well, I won't need the bolts that came with the side steps, but I will be using the washers and the locking nuts. But if your truck does not come with the bolts already installed from the factory, then you will have to use the bolts that come with the running boards. So I'll grab one bracket, a socket wrench, and then nuts and washers. And I will just place the bracket over the bolts that are already installed. As I said, my truck already came with them installed, the bolts installed, so I did not have to use the bolts that came with the running boards. But if yours does not have the bolts, then you will need to use the bolts that came with the running boards. So place it on one flat washer on, one locking nut on. Just gonna put the bolts or put the nuts on, not snug them all the way down yet. Another washer on, second bolt, and one on the third. So again, just finger tight down my nuts. Finger tight. Now I'll crank them down, but once again, not fully tight. I want them to be a little loose so I can line it up at the end. So I'm just going to give them a couple turns, crank them down. Alright, it's a little tight, so I'm just going to loosen that a little bit. Alright, first one on. So now I'll place this bracket, same deal on those factory bolts that are already on there. Washer. And my locking nut. And the last one over here, washer. And bolt. So now I'll do the same thing as the last bracket. I'll just tighten them down, not crank them all the way down yet, but you know, snug them down a little. Alright. Break that bracket. Good. Now I'll repeat the process for the third one. Washer. Locking nut. Second bolt, same deal. Washer. Locking nut. And the third bolt, washer. Locking nut. Now, just tighten this one down. Like I said, not super tight. But a little tight again and back it off some. Alright, just gonna go back and loosen the others a little bit because I can't freely move those. I can see I can freely move this one just to line it up. Turns. Now freely move so I can line it up better when I get the boards on. So now I'm just gonna go repeat the process, the same thing on the other side. Now the next part of the installation is going to be putting the actual boards on the brackets. You can see how there's a shorter distance between the actual step on this end than there is on this end. So the one with the shorter distance, this about 7 inches, between the actual plastic for the step and the end of the rail, the shorter side is going to be the front. So this is the passenger. This is going to be the front of the side rail. Like so. So now I'm just going to maneuver these brackets to try to get them to line up with the actual holes on the bottom here. As you can see, there's no holes. So my bracket's gonna have to come over a little bit. There we go. So my bracket, I'm gonna push it a little bit that way. There you go. Now it's all lined up. See it underneath? The holes are good. Now I'm just gonna install my bolts that came with the running board. 2 of them. One's gonna go on the bottom. Just gonna tighten it down finger tight. Another one's gonna go up here at the top. Tighten it down finger tight for now. Bolt at the bottom. Finger tight. Bolt at the top. Same thing, finger tight. Let's see, my holes are off a little bit. Slide my bracket over. Voila. One on the bottom. One at the top. Gonna line it up a little bit better here. No. Finger tight. Alright. Looking pretty nice. So now I'll do the same thing on the other side. Just gonna go around, tighten them all down, finger tight. So now we are on the driver's side of the truck. I already put the bar on the mounts. Okay. Now get back under in the truck. I'm gonna check out where my holes are. I like where the actual bar is, so I'm gonna move the brackets up. All right. Jiggle it a little, right there, bolt in the top, bolt in the bottom, alright, that one's alright, and I'm going to slide down one in the top. One in the bottom. Oh yeah, so we're good there. Tighten this, put this bolt top, tighten it down finger tight. Alright, so that looks pretty good. In the first step, remember I left them a little loose. Now we're just going to go through and tighten all of the hardware down. The side steps are where I want them to be. Alright, it's tight. Next one. tight. Top one. All right, tight. Same deal. Gonna move down the truck. All right. There's one. Tight. Down. One's tight. Next one. Tight. Top one. All right, tight. Last one. That's tight. It's tight. Tight. Now, I'm going to tighten down all my bolts for the actual board itself. So it's going to be the ones underneath here. Alright. It's tight. Other bolt. Alright. One more for good luck. Alright, that's tight. Next one. Same deal. Gonna tighten down my bracket, my bars, my actual running boards to the brackets. All right, that one's snug. Snug this guy down. Last one on this side, at least. Okay. All right. Tight. Now I'm going to go around to the passenger side and do the same thing.
So if you want one of the biggest Nerf bars available for your Ram at a price that's very hard to beat, be sure to check out Barricade's 5-inchers right here at AmericanTrucks.com.